LeBron James is a man who is easily one of the greatest basketball players of all time, and that's basically undisputed. Where he ranks is disputed, but most agree at least top 10. But as any legend past or present will tell you, sometimes you make a blooper. You make a mistake and things just don't go your way, and you just have to laugh at it later or take the lumps when people call you out on it. So allow us to show you the top LeBron James funny moments and bloopers of all time.
Just a reminder about our new giveaway. We're giving away the new iPad Pro or the new iMac Pro. The choice is yours. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple.
Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 9. The decision. Now, yes, we're sure that some of you will not think of this as a funny moment or a blooper. But if you're going to talk about the not-so-great moments of LeBron James' career, you have to talk about the decision, and for various reasons. First and foremost, because of the hype that was built around the event, people almost had to turn into it.
Very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
Which would have been fine, if it wasn't already very obvious where LeBron James was going to go. It had been teased for weeks that he, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade were going to go and make a dynasty of their own down in Miami because they had the cap to handle all three players. Wade and Bosh even made the reveal earlier on to help cement that. And yet, ESPN and everyone associated with the event tried to paint a picture of LeBron hasn't decided yet. When you can bet he had his mind made up the moment he took off his Cavaliers jersey after losing to the Boston Celtics in the playoffs again. Then you look at the event itself. The 10-second reveal had an hour special dedicated to it. That's not just funny, that's sad. The visuals of the event were hilarious too, as LeBron had it decked out so that it made him seem like a good guy even though he was about to betray Cleveland. The whole thing was a disaster and was blasted later on by the media and by fans, outside of Miami, of course. And to this day, it's one of the divisive things in the history of sports because of how much it was built up and LeBron's role in it. Number 8. Not 2, not 3. Thought that we were done with the decision? Not yet. Because there was an aftermath to that which led to another classic blooper from LeBron. One we're sure even he regrets doing. We're not sure if he regrets the decision. During this inauguration to the Miami Heat, he made a speech about how well they were going to do, stating in regards to winning titles, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, basically saying the next 8 years were theirs to dominate and that no one could stop them. Yeah, let's break down the reality of it, shall we? Their first year together, they did go to the finals, but they lost to the Dallas Mavericks, who were huge underdogs. Then, they beat the OKC Thunder the next year in decisive fashion. They played the Spurs next and had to go 7 games to beat them, as well as needing a miracle three-pointer to save them in Game 6.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
But the next time around, the Spurs crushed them, and that was the end of the dynasty as LeBron left for Cleveland again afterwards. So yeah, despite making all those promises, he only got 2 rings out of the deal. Not exactly the best look there, LeBron. And yeah, he still gets made fun of for that to this day. Number 7. The look to J.R. Smith. Full admission, this wasn't about LeBron blowing a play, but how he reacted to it that's so funny and memorable. Just wanted to be clear on that, okay? Anyway, it was during the 2018 NBA Finals, where the Cleveland Cavaliers, during LeBron's second run with them, were facing the Golden State Warriors once again.
I wanted a timeout, but too late to get it. And 5 minutes go up on the clock, overtime here in Game 1.
These two teams brought everything they had in Game 1, and with just a few seconds left in the final quarter, the Warriors were up. But only by 1. And George Hill had been fouled and sent to the line. Everyone on the Cavs appeared to know what to do. Mainly, wait to see how many George would make, and either make sure the Warriors didn't score again, or rebound if they were down still or tied. George Hill made 1 of 2, and J.R. Smith wisely grabbed the ball. and then waited out the clock. If your math is right in your head, you know why that's a bad thing. Because he rebounded the ball perfectly, but seemed to forget that they were tied, and later admitted that he thought he was up. This mental goof caused one of the funniest reactions from LeBron in history. Something that is memed to this day because he couldn't believe that JR didn't realize what was going on. Because of this goof, overtime was had and the Cavs would lose. Everyone rightfully blamed JR, and that wasn't the only fault to happen on that night. Number 6. The punch. Because as it was revealed later on in the series, LeBron was so mad at what J.R. Smith did, he went into the locker room and punched a blackboard. Now, yeah, you could count this up to a major frustration, but his mental and physical blooper would come back to haunt him, because that punch actually broke his hand.
What happened? Self-inflicted. Post-game after game 1. Very emotional.
Yes, he did play in the rest of the series, but it wasn't the same. And the result of that, and more, was that for the second time in his career, LeBron James was swept from the playoffs. Now we can honestly say that even with a fully healed hand, it wouldn't have been a guarantee that they would have won a few games. But that kind of blooper cannot be tolerated because your anger literally hurt the whole team. Not surprisingly, after that season, LeBron went to LA, where he's seeking another title. But don't think there wasn't a blooper or two to be had there, because there was. Number 5. The hair plugs. It may seem at times that LeBron has everything under control, but even he has problems he can't fully stop or prevent. In this case, his hair. He's slowly been losing his hair for years, and this has caused many to tell him to go bald and be done with it, not unlike Kobe, Jordan, etc. Instead, he went and got hair plugs, which was fine, until that is, he went into a game in the 2019 season and his headband caused the plugs to fall out. His teammate Anthony Davis tried to warn him about it, but it was too late. Everyone saw. His barber claimed that everything is real, but something like that, yeah, that's hard to cover up, and that had to be awkward for LeBron. Because the guy has had enough people ribbing him about his game, his playoff performance, and more. So to have to deal with people talking about your hair, yeah, that has to be embarrassing. Number 4. Hiya. It's honestly a bit hard to describe what is going on here, but during a game with the Sacramento Kings, LeBron decided to either try and trip a guy up or try and karate kick him. We're honestly not sure. You can see it plain and clear in the clip, which is a bit sad because the announcers are laughing like he did nothing wrong. And yet you can clearly see that LeBron is trying to kick or trip him, which is an illegal move either way. So the fact that LeBron of all people would result to this is something curious in and of itself, but you be the judge as to how funny it is. Number 3. Sent flying. This is another that honestly isn't LeBron's fault. While playing against the Atlanta Hawks, Hawks player Jeff Teague decided to do some hard defense against LeBron James, which on the surface seems fine as this is a game of defense at times. But for Teague, he basically launched LeBron into the crowd. And yeah, there are some times when players intentionally jump into the crowd for show and fun, but this wasn't one of those times. You could see the stumbling of LeBron and how he couldn't control his momentum at all. He took out a few people by the time he was done. Thankfully, all were okay. Number 2. Look out! When you're playing basketball, one of the biggest things you need to do is keep your eye on the ball at all times, even when you're just doing a shoot-around before a game. Which brings us to this funny blooper where LeBron is doing a shoot-around with the Cavs and catches one ball, but doesn't see the other coming his way and thus gets drilled by it in the head. We don't care who you are, that has to hurt. But also, how did he miss that? He was looking in that direction. Did he really not see both balls coming his way? Or just saying? Number 1. Le Flop. There is an argument between LeBron James and Michael Jordan fans to see who is the best player of all time. But the problem that most people have is determining who is truly the greatest. An easy answer is thus: who flopped the most? The answer to that is LeBron, who not only flops on the regular, he does it in such dramatic fashion that he's been fined by the NBA for it. And some of them have been comical in the overreaction that he's had to getting hit.
Did you earn it?
Did I earn it? Man, quit it.
Jordan never needed to flop because all the contact he had during his time was real. And for those who say LeBron doesn't flop, here are some of his greatest hits for you. So what did you think? What did you think of these LeBron James moments that were funny, blooper-worthy, and more? Which of these moments do you personally find peak LeBron in the funny blooper factor? Do you have any other moments from LeBron's career that perfectly accent his status? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.